Guys, and welcome back to Tiny Tooshes. We specialize in modern cloth pocket nappies and accessories. If you want to keep up to date with our newest products and our information vlogs, such as this one, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our pages. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube as well. Now, today's vlog is going to be covering product care and washing, and that's due to some popular requests over the last couple of weeks. We know for a lot of parents that this could be the deciding factor between going cloth and not, as it was for us over a year ago when we started our cloth journey as well. So we're going to be giving you some great information today. We're going to be going over our wash routine as well. Now, it's really important to know that a wash routine is very individualized. So it is dependent on your personal circumstances. So we do recommend putting together a routine that's suitable for yourself, suitable for your washing machine, and your wash routine and what's going to work, writing it on a piece of paper and simply putting it in your laundry. So when you come back from baby being born, if you're a little bit tired or if the grandparents wish to help out, anybody can have a read of this in your laundry and be able to do that for you. And that's just going to ensure that your nappies stay nice and clean and safe for babies at all time as well. Now, we're going to be referencing clean cloth nappies throughout this vlog and in the blog attached as well. Clean Cloth Nappies have a web page and also a Facebook page, and were absolutely invaluable to us during our research period. So it's pretty self-explanatory. They cover everything to do with cleaning cloth nappies, and they are an amazing group of admin who are based in Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. So their information is relevant to people in all of those places as well. So if you have a look on the information on this video, you can click through to the product care and washing on our webpage, and on that webpage there are some links on there as well for you to follow through the resources that Clean Cloth Nappies have provided for a lot of people and that we've used and we recommend for you as well. So what we're going to be covering today is preparing your new products for use, how to store your dirty nappies, how to clean your dirty nappies, and then how to dry them. And that makes the process sound nice and simple, and that's because it is. Like I said earlier, the process of cleaning a cloth nappy does scare a lot of people, as it did ourselves, and it's actually turned out to be one of the easiest processes we could possibly have had in cleaning. So we're here to share all that information with you guys as well. Now, if you have any questions or queries throughout this, throughout reading or watching, as always, please feel free to be in touch. So our email address is located on all of our pages, and some of our pages also have that chat option, so you're always more than welcome to be in touch with us. So first of all, we're just going to go through new products. So whether you purchase from Tiny Tooshes or elsewhere, some of the products do require some pre-care prior to use. Now, the main reason for this is to activate the absorption. So a lot of the materials, especially the natural materials, do require this just to ensure that you have minimal leakage when used. Now, our products that we sell at Tiny Tooshes, if you haven't had a look at any of our other vlogs, starting with our liners here, so these are a micro fleece. These do require a pre-wash prior to being used for that exact reason. So that's just going to activate that absorption, make sure it's drawing away that moisture from baby's bum and keeping it nice and dry and free of rashes for you. The next two products, so the inserts which go inside the nappies and also the nappy pockets themselves, that's what the inserts go into. These here, we actually recommend soaking these in cold water for 24 hours and then doing a pre-wash prior to use. And again, it's for that absorption factor. Now, some of these products, and depending on the materials, they can take up to 8 washes before they are at their peak absorption. So we do just recommend in the first couple of uses to just have some frequent changes. And then after a week or so of using them, if you've up to about that 8 washes, everything should be working at their peak by that stage for you. Now, our other products that we sell at Tiny Tooshes, so our nappy bags and also our swim nappies, these actually come to you ready to use. So you guys are more than welcome to just take those out of the packaging and use them straight away. Now, this is just a Tiny Tooshes recommendation, so if you are purchasing elsewhere, please make sure that you do refer to them or their website, just for their pre-product care before use as well, just to make sure that you're getting the maximum out of your cloth nappies. Now, with your cloth nappies, everybody's going to have their different manufacturer recommendations, as does Tiny Tooshes. Now, we don't go via our manufacturer recommendations. We go via the cloth nappy or the clean cloth nappy recommendations that we spoke about earlier. So it's up to you to make a decision what you prefer. We do just need to quickly discuss with you the Tiny Tooshes manufacturer recommendations. And what they recommend to do is during the cleaning process is just to separate your nappy. So that means taking your insert out of your nappy, and your liner will naturally fall away anyway, and cleaning these separately at a normal wash of less than 30 degrees, and that's what they recommend. We are going to be discussing with you extensively now the clean cloth nappy recommendations, and that's the process we've followed now for over a year, and we've had nothing but clean nappies and clean skin on our baby as well. So we're going to dive straight in, guys. The first thing we're going to discuss is how to store your dirty nappies. So we use what we call a dry pail. So a dry pail is technically just a washing basket. So these are just brought from your local convenience store for a couple of dollars. You can see here that we have chosen to go for a plastic one. The material ones do look nicer, but for convenience sake, they are not really the best option. If you were to have any leaks or scrapes of dirty nappies against this, the plastic is much easier to clean for you guys. The other thing to look out for when you're choosing a basket is you would like something with a lot of aeration and airflow. And what this does is just minimize the development of ammonia, which is present in urine. And for a lot of people, they do realize with that ammonia, it can bring about a bit of a stench as well. So that aeration is just going to make sure that that production of ammonia is very low and the stench of your house stays nice as well. Now, you may be asking that previous generations, when they did use the terry toweling, they used to do wet paling or a bucket with water and soak their nappies in it before they're clean. Now, the reason we don't recommend this is because a lot of people do realize that moisture does bring about bacterial growth as well, and we're trying to reduce that around the nappies. So we go for a dry pail. That aeration of that basket is keeping those nappies nice and dry during the day before you go ahead with your wash, and that's going to reduce that bacterial growth and make sure that your nappies are nice and clean and the babies are nice and safe as well. So that's the reason we go for that. We do have several buckets throughout the house, and we have them in the baby's room, the laundry, and in the lounge room, depending on where we're doing most of the changes. And then once you've had a dirty nappy, you simply just drop it in that pail ready to be cleaned or pre-washed later on. Now, if you have a dirty nappy or a poo nappy during the day, if you wish to semi-deal with that at the time, that can be recommended as well. We're going to touch base on that quickly with you because I know for a lot of people, the poo factor is the scary factor, and we're here to just let you know that it really is not as scary as it sounds, and it can be a very clean process. So we are going to go through this and elaborate on it a little bit more in a future vlog for you. But just in regards to the nappy itself, this is why we recommend using a liner. So a liner not only draws moisture away from the baby's bum, keeping it rash free, it also protects the nappy and makes cleaning a breeze. So if you've got a newborn baby or a breastfed baby, they often have a tendency to have those liquidy poos, and you've got two options. You can simply just rinse this under some running water, or you can actually stick it straight into the washing machine because that poo is soluble, so it will wash away nice and easy as well. As the baby gets older, as they start to take on a few more solids, we do know that consistency of that poo will change slightly as well. So if you're lucky enough to have a baby with a solid poo, these are nice and easy. You simply take these out of the nappies and flick that poo off into the toilet. And it makes for a nice easy clean. If they're at that in-between stage, so it's not quite a soluble breastfed poo and it's not a solid one, you have got a couple of options. So what we initially started with was a bum gun that we purchased from Bunnings, and we simply just sprayed that. It was attached to our toilet, and we just sprayed everything into the toilet. It was nice and easy. There was no dirty hands or anything needing to be touched. You can also, what a lot of people opt to do is use the flush of the toilet. So you can simply stick this liner into the toilet without sticking it into the water at the bottom. Stick it against the bowl there, flush the toilet, and that water will actually take away anything off the liner there that you need. Now, if neither of those are an option for you, what you can also do is have a spatula, so just a rubber one next to your toilet. You can simply just scrape off any sort of remnants of the poo into the toilet there. If you do need to do any scrubbing, what we do recommend is just using a rubber bristle brush. So no metal, no plastic. It can be detrimental to the material, especially the nappies. If you are using the liners, you will find these are quite hard materials, so you can scrub them with most brushes. But these rubber ones are just $2 from Kmart, and they make life nice and easy. So that's just touching base on the poo, letting you know that you can get through that process without any sort of dirtiness. And it is nice and easy. The more you do it, the quicker you get as well. And then once you've done that, just simply stick that dirty nappy, once you've cleaned off that poo, you can stick it into your basket, your dry pail, ready to be pre-washed. For some people, especially for us with our daughter in kindy, we don't always get to deal with those dirty nappies straight away. So when it comes back home, we simply stick it in the basket and deal with it at a later date. Now onto the detergent. So you are more than welcome. So with the detergent, you can use the detergent that you're currently using. What we would recommend doing is referring to the Clean Cloth Nappies Detergent Index. This again can be found on the link in the information section on our webpage. The admin from that Clean Cloth Nappy group have done an amazing amount of research into all the detergents on the market, and they just give you the pros and the cons of each one. They also provide you with information regarding the amounts to use for the pre and main wash, which may differ compared to the actual company's recommendations on the packaging as well. For ourselves, we use Omo Ultimate, and we did change when we started the Clean Cloth Nappy process. The reason for that was through our research, we did find that the Whitsundays here do have medium to hard water, and we found that information out on our local council website. And what that means is our water has a quite high mineral content, which can sometimes mean that cleaning can be a little bit more difficult. And for this reason, Clean Cloth Nappies do recommend avoiding liquid detergents. So we did go to a powdered one, and they highly recommended the Omo Ultimate because of their cleaning factor and because they don't create much suds. And I'll go through that a little bit later, but the suds can sometimes reduce agitation of your products in your washing machine, which also reduces the cleanliness. So have a look on that page anyway, and have a look. We do know that some families suffer from allergies and have to be restricted to certain cleaning products, and same as some families would like to use a more environmentally friendly option as well. So definitely have a look on there and just put that into your routine to make sure that you're using it to the best ability it's got. Now, there are a couple of cleaning products that we recommend not using, and that is fabric softener. So fabric softener actually covers some of the fibers in your material, and that reduces its absorbency. So although a lot of people think, oh, let's use fabric softener, it's going to make the nappies nice and soft against baby's skin, we do recommend avoiding this one for that reason. Another one is vinegar. So vinegar is a nice natural cleaning substance. However, it can be quite harmful on our fibers, especially our natural ones in our nappies, and it can be, again, detrimental to the use of the nappies. So try and avoid using those if you can, and it will just make sure that your lifespan of your nappy is going to be nice and long as well. Now on to our pre-wash. So our pre-wash is a rinse of the nappy, and you can do this every day or every second day depending on the amount of nappies that you have to get through. We do ours every day due to the environment that we live in here in the Whitsundays. It's quite humid, so we want to reduce that bacterial growth as much as we possibly can. So again, Clean Cloth Nappies recommend doing the pre-wash in the morning after you've had a night nappy, just because it does tend to be a little bit more wet or soiled. For ourselves, this doesn't suit our lifestyle because we do head to work nice and early, so we actually do our pre-wash in the evening. So again, it is just finding out what is more suitable for yourselves. Now, your pre-wash, you want to be a short cycle, and you want it to have high agitation. So you're going to create high agitation by having a high rinse speed cycle and one with a deep setting as well. Now, if you're confused as to what setting that may be on your machine, especially if you've got a newer machine which have lots of multiple different cycles that you can choose from, this is where we recommend jumping onto the Clean Cloth Nappies Facebook page, and they have over 50,000 followers and that amazing group of admin again. You can actually just search on the page for your washing machine. It is very likely that someone has asked this question previously regarding that same machine, and you can just refer to the answers from the admin. Or if you can't find your answers, it is an interactive page, so you can write your own question down down with your washing machine type, and someone will be too happy to help you with what cycle they recommend for both the pre and the main wash that we're going to discuss in a second with you. Now, to create high agitation in your machine, it's really important that you take your nappy apart when you're pre-washing. So you simply take your insert out of your nappy. Again, your liner will naturally fall away, and you want to place these around the machine nice and evenly. So doing a layer after a layer, and this is going to make sure that your garments are periodically being pulled down and agitating against each other and being nice and clean. The other thing that's going to help with this is making sure you use the right water level. So if you do have an auto water level on your washing machine, do use this. Otherwise, do make sure to just have a look at your cycle and make sure that you're using that right water level as well. Now, once your products have been washed, there is no need to dry them in between pre-washes to your main wash. So you can simply just stick the garments back into the washing machine, back into the wash basket. If you're worried about the dampness of the material and potential mold, just simply drape your products over the outside of the basket and on the inside, and that's just going to create a larger surface area for the products to dry as well. Now, if after a pre-wash you find that you do have any stains on your products, now we have not really had an issue with this to date. The few occasions that we have been on our inserts, so those beautiful white pieces of material that go inside the nappies. We have found that these liners protect those nappies nice and well. If they come out of the pre-wash with a stain, you've got a couple of options. So your first option is to purchase what we call Sard soap from your local supermarket. It is simply just a bar of soap that helps with staining. It's just a couple of dollars, and you rub it on the stain and then just rinse it off, and the stains are usually nice and easy to come off. If you're looking for something a little bit less labor intensive, our second option, which we tend to use more now, is a secondary basket or container in our laundry wash room, and we use our Vanish or our Nappy Sand Vanish, and we put just a small quantity of that in with some water in that bucket, and we simply soak this insert in it for 24 hours and then re-add it to the next day's pre-wash, and we've never had an issue after that with stains remaining. That bucket gets well used as well for clothing that our little one wears, especially with any sort of staining that comes from food, so it's really helpful to have in your laundry when you've got a little one anyway, and that water stays in there for 4 to 5 days and continuously just gets used. Now, with the main wash, so again, the main wash is going to depend on how often you're using nappies. If you're doing it part-time, full-time, if you've got 1 or 2 children in it, the more nappies or more children you have, you may be doing a main wash every 1 to 2 days. We opt for every 3rd day, and we could potentially push it out to every 4 days. They don't recommend going over 4 days just to ensure that bacteria on the nappies is staying at a minimal before you're putting it through a nice warm main wash. Now, with a main wash, you want this to be on the longest and heaviest cycle that your machine has. So if you've got a cycle that's kind of labeled heavy duty, this will tend to be it. And then if you can extend that cycle again with such thing as like an intensive option, it is best to do that as well. Again, referring back to that Clean Cloth Nappies Facebook page, and people will let you know on there if they haven't already been asked about your specific washing machine and cycle to choose from. Now, the temperature of your wash is very important for both the pre and the main wash. So for the pre-wash, you don't want it any less than 40 degrees and definitely no higher than 60 degrees. Now, anything over 60 degrees is going to potentially cause your pocket what we call delamination. So that's to do with your waterproof layer here. It can delaminate that, which then means that it's not going to be waterproof any longer and you will have leaks. It is irreversible and it's going to shorten that lifespan of your nappy. For the main wash, they recommend no less than 50 degrees, so just slightly warmer, and again, still no higher than 60 degrees for that. If you're unsure of how to know what temperature your warm or your hot washes run at, we simply went on eBay, bought a very cheap coffee thermometer, and we placed it into our water during a cycle to find out what our water temperature runs at, just to make sure that our nappies are nice and safe in there. Again, referring back to that detergent index for both the main and the pre-wash, just to make sure that you're using the recommended amount of detergent to make sure the cleanliness of your nappies as well. Now, for maximum results in your main wash, again, you want that high agitation. So, realistically, you would like your machine to be about 2/3 full with the stuff out of your pre wash basket. If you're not reaching that 2/3 full, that doesn't mean that you need to delay it for another day. You can simply just top up your washing with some additional garments. This can be baby clothes or other small garments such as tea towels to do that as well. You want to make sure that you're having that stew consistency that we discussed in that pre-wash, so making sure everything's laid out evenly. Your nappies will already be broken up from your inserts to your pockets from your pre-wash, so making sure that everything is separated when you put it into that washing machine. And again, making sure that your water level is appropriate, so not too much water and not too less water. Otherwise, you're not going to have that periodic pull down of the garments, creating that agitation as well. Now, once that main wash has been done, then it's time to dry your nappies, ready to be used again. So with your drying, you have got a lot of options. Putting them in the sun is the best option, generally the quickest dry as well. The only thing we recommend for drying your garments in the sun is for the pocket itself. Make sure that the waterproof, generally the designer side, is face down away from the sun so that it doesn't have any damage from the sun rays. It's also going to mean that the liner here is going to be facing the sun, which can help sometimes with any sort of staining if that is something that you're having issues with. If you don't have the option of putting it in the sunshine, what you can do is you can use an air dryer or a line dryer in your house. So we sometimes put it in our laundry, in our lounge room, or in our garage during the wet season, and just drape them under a fan or something to help dry them. With an air dryer, or a clothes dryer, if you do opt to use this, the main thing to remember is to leave the garments in the dryer until they have cooled down. If you bring them out when they are still warm and you stretch that elastic around the legs, that can be damaging of that elastic, which will then cause leaks during use as well. Now, last but definitely not least is just about barrier cream. So people do often ask, can you still use barrier creams on these nappies? And you certainly can. Some people do opt for a more natural barrier cream. We still use the standard Sudocrem. And as long as you're following the washing procedures listed above, you will find that the barrier creams will come out no problem at all. Again, using that micro fleece liner, that's going to catch most of it anyway, and these are nice and easy to clean as previously stated. That covers most things in to do with the cleaning. Again, guys, if you have any questions or queries or anything you feel like we haven't covered or you'd like us to cover more, please be in touch via email or via our chat. But thank you guys for logging in and having a look of our product here and washing of clean cloth pocket nappies. Please stay tuned on our pages. Our next one or vlog and blog that are going to be coming out, we're going to be covering if cloth nappies do actually save you money and exactly how much. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Thank you very much and have a great day.